These stars are where they've been tapped before. See that sled there? So they've been there's a whole bunch of those glass bottles. They've been doing this for a long time here.
100 years.
100 years. They wrote this book here, Miracles on Maple Hill. You see that? Well, this has a lot of history here. You know any of this stuff? I just can't believe all the stuff that they put together here. I think it's over here, Tank. This here? Okay. She's done a nice job here.
Hello.
How?
Anthony, come on.
You did a nice job here.
I'm going to be starting in about 5 minutes, so glad you came by.
Добрый день.
Anyway. She used to be the wrangler at Camp Judson.
Really?
This is Andrew and his wife, and there is.
Are you still taking pictures of us?
That was video. So. Did Tammy hear that? Susan? You think? You should do it again for... It's a new one? Copper. What's nice about that?
What is that in there? Another pearl or
Let's have a party and so they celebrated spring. And this is why they ended up coming up and doing designs on eggs, which, why they happen to have eggs. Why did they have beeswax? Because parabens, a petroleum product, beeswax is older. So stop think. Told you they were resourceful. So we're going to use 2 things. I turned around and marked that border. I'm going to take and put, because my hands have some dye on them. It's going to leave some marks on this egg, but I'm going to dye it some other color so it won't really be that noticeable on there. Another thing I need to remind people when you go to leave, please make sure you get a pamphlet straight. I'm also holding my Kiska one way. Sometimes I will pull my line towards me or sometimes I'll pull it away. When I get to this point here, if you ever were really off space-wise, you could like gradually join those 2 lines. I'm pretty close, so I can just go ahead and connect them. But guess what else I've learned? Faster you move your little hand, the straighter your lines are. You're like, oh, fine, thanks, that's gonna help a lot. But I'm gonna turn my egg, because I'm right-handed. I always work better from this side. I'm gonna take and do my line here. I'm almost turning. I'm gonna do these fish. Let me see. I'm gonna flip this. This fish I did had it both going the same way, but I'm gonna change it. I'll make this one facing the other way. I'm gonna go ahead and do the tail. I need to have a plan with what colors I'm gonna add with this. And something else I didn't bring up when I was originally talking about this. And I mentioned that when the Ukrainian people, when they were pagan worshipers, and they did these different designs of the sun and the stars when they had their different celebrations. Well, you stop and think in 988 AD, when the church was introduced, and they ended up really, when Christianity really was a religion for them, and they really finally were understanding who God was. They ended up taking all these different designs and they turned around and used them for their Christian symbols. And you know what's interesting? I'm doing a fish right now, and what was the symbol of a fish in the early Christian church? It was a symbol for new Christians. And so it's interesting, all those designs, and you even stop and think, well, I thought you said they did the sun, moon, and stars. Well, you know, God is the author of all of them. So how fitting that those designs, they could turn around and use them for their Christian symbols. Many times you are going to see designs of deer and horses, and that stands for wealth and prosperity, and also a ram. You'll see a ram, that's also another one. Now this year, 46 years ago, that I had bone cancer, so this is 46 years that I've been able to be here, and I'm thankful that, there, look, see what happens? And look at how that's clearing off. And 46 years ago when I had bone cancer, you know, that's a diagnosis that no parent really wants to hear. And even though, like, I was 8 years old at the time, you know, my parents, they were saddened about that. But I'm thankful that really I'm one of God's miracles in the first place, because even though sometimes we might think we'll just ignore him or something, no, God's always there, and he's ready to be with us. And you know, a lot of times, if you think of the poem, how our life is a tapestry, and what do we see? We see all the strings that don't make sense. But what does God see on the other side? He sees a beautiful picture of what our life is. And so, you know, I hope and pray that none of you have had to face cancer, but I'm sure in each one of our lives, whether we're young or old, all of us have had different crises that we've had to deal with in our families and things. But you know, God's always there. So I think we always need to remember that. And I like to use, every time I clean an egg, I think of that. When I think it's like, you know, it doesn't look like it's going to have any hope to it. But what ends up coming out at the end is, look, it's coming out to be a beautiful egg. And so a lot of times, again, when you're doing any of these eggs, this is an interesting ending to them. So you can see this, and what's even going to be more enlightening, I want you to watch when I spray egg, and I'll hold it up to that candle. I want my flame to be pretty straight. If my flame starts to waver, I will either like close the windows or something if something's happening like that, because I don't want to have this to smoke and smoke on top of the egg, because if it does, a lot of times it'll smoke the egg. You can use like a lighter fluid to clean it off, but I really don't even care to go that route. I'd rather just try to keep it as free from anything like that if I can help it. I like to use crystal clear Krylon. It's non-yellowing and it dries like in about 10 minutes. Here's what else I've learned. You spray a little bit, not a lot. So I'm going to spray it like this. I'm going to turn it. The holder that I've got my egg on that I'm spraying in, I took some foam board and took a staple gun and sprayed, and I was going to say, I'm spraying now. I was like, I do have another vocabulary of words. I took and stapled this with my staple gun there and ended up creating a little holder for it. Now when I sprayed it 4 times, I'm going to let it sit.